Hello. Today I want to talk about emotional and mental wellness in the workplace. Some years ago, or rather many years ago, I suffered from insomnia. I had just joined the company and I'd go to work late. Work started at 9. I'd go there at 9:30, 9:45, 10. And of course, I'd get stares and frowns from my colleagues and my boss. At one point, I started wearing my work clothes to sleep so that as soon as I woke up late, I'd just jump out into my shoes and the cab and head to work. One day, I put my head round to my boss's office and I kind of looked in. I said sheepishly, "Sorry, I'm always late. I just have trouble sleeping." And he just gave me a deadpan look. And he said, You don't have trouble sleeping. You don't have insomnia. You have depression." I was startled. I just went off to my desk and worked. And of course, I was in denial. I didn't think I could have depression. How can I have depression? Some months after that conversation, I had a meltdown at work. I was on the phone, the receiver in my hand, and I just slammed the receiver down hard on my desk. There was just silence. Everybody stopped what they were doing, and they all turned to look at me. And I looked around. Of course, needless to say, my boss called me in and he fired me. Now, this is a man who recognized symptoms of depression. He didn't call me in to say, "What's going on? Are you struggling with something? Can I help you? Do you want to talk about it? Would you like to see the doctor? Do you need some time off? Maybe you should talk to a counselor." No. He just said, "You're fired." So eventually I took myself off to the psychiatrist, and she just looked at all the symptoms and she said, "My goodness," she said, "you have PTSD, flashbacks, insomnia, anger, suicidal thoughts, and many other symptoms." So of course, luckily, I got some help. The CDC in USA says that in recent years, about 200 million working days are lost in a year. 200 million working days are lost in a year due to mental illness. In the United Kingdom, around 12.8 million working days were lost in the year 2017. Now, the statistics I've given you are about mental illness. They're probably higher, and you know why? Because the people who go for physical ailments, many of those physical ailments are actually a result of emotional issues that are just kind of swept under the carpet, suppressed, repressed, So they on record, it shows that they had a heart attack or they had angina or they had a backache, but a lot of times these physical issues are a result of unresolved emotional issues. For example, when you're really stressed, do you notice that you have a funny tummy or backache, neckache, migraine, rashes? Those are psychosomatic symptoms, because if you don't want to deal with the stuff that's coming up emotionally, let's shove it somewhere. It comes out physically. Nobody needs to think you've got a mental issue. It's all physical, and that's okay, but it's not. Today, I'd like to teach you some methods on how you could bring the anxiety level down. Just small things, okay? So there are about 3 or 4 points. Number one, go to YouTube and type in Somatic Asia, Somatic Asia. There I've got 2 videos. I've got a few videos, but there are 2. One's called Orienting, one's called Resourcing. That will help bring your anxiety level down immediately. Number 2, please consider seeing a counselor or a therapist. And if you go to a therapist, look for someone who does body-centered therapy. Talk therapy alone is not very helpful. It helps to have a little of body-centered work. If you can't afford the fees, ask the therapist if she or he is willing to bring the rates down. If you are an employer or a supervisor or a manager, please read up about signs of depression and anxiety, etc., so that you're familiar with these symptoms and you can, notice them in your staff. Number 4, consider the EAP program. It's called the Employee Assistance Program. If you don't already have it, please consider having it. And encourage your staff to use them. Reassure them that it's confidential. I know a lot of people whose companies have the EAP program, but they do not use it because they're embarrassed. Use it. Spend that time to sit with your therapist and talk about the things that are troubling you. And 5, finally, please reach out to me and talk to me about how I can help your staff and you, how I can bring balance into your company with my services that I provide in counseling, in therapy, in coaching. I'd be happy to have a chat with you. Thank you.